that says, hey, you ain't doing right by me and my people. They deserve more, right? And that person's voice is only going to be heard in that room if they got a bunch of people standing behind them. That's just how politics works. Yeah. Oh, you said we got 5 minutes. So I want to ask this question, and then we're just going to go around and get some thoughts. It's going to be a very vague question because I really want y'all to just, say what you feel. Do you feel like everyone in the United States is being treated equally? Question mark. Why or why not? That is the question that's on the paper, right? Now, you can say what you will, but the question becomes, and I'm going to tell you why we're asking this question, right? The question, yes, the question is being asked because we all know the history, right? I believe there's a lot of educated men and women in this room where we know where our country came from, right? But now we're in 2024. There's a lot of people who feel as if, hey, well, we've made everything equal at this point in time, so there should be no complaints. There should be any need for things like DEI, right? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Those programs, they've been kind of taken away from the college level. They're trying to strip them from the Pentagon right now. Affirmative action was struck down at the Supreme Court, right? So all these different things are happening because, in my mind, it says, hey, we don't have that issue anymore. Why those programs were put in place. What are your thoughts?
I think we still have that issue. I could start it off because we look at certain areas, wouldn't have a discussion about Richmond County right now. When I come out the door, when I look at my neighbor is you. My neighbor's not them. So if we was equal, if we was still staying on the same level, I think we all should be living around each other. You know what I'm saying? That it's not like that. And you can see that, it's blatant. When we go out the door, I go to the stoplight, there's going to be 5 different black persons at the stoplight. Might be one white person, and he might be just because he a friend of the other people that he riding with. But it just ain't like that.
And you know that the people are trying to tie that to money, about how much you make. This lower income over there, it ain't just tied to money. It's tied to who approving those loans for those neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they redline it, and they still doing it. So that's DEI, right? And like, there ain't no fairness. There's no equality around it at all. Like, you really look at it, dig under the surface, man. There's no equality, and that goes from, men and women pay on the corporate ladder to the black, white, Mexican, all of that. There's no real equality, like, nah.
And that you trying to get grants too, because the first thing they ask you is, what's your race? If this grant's for everybody, why you need to know what color you are? So
it should never ask that question.
Every grant that should never ask me my race. And I'm thinking to myself, why do you need to know my race if this grant is open up to everybody? Because they only give a certain amount of money to us, and then to the rest of whoever else. But yeah,
you don't hear that too much from Caucasians. Like, that should tell you there's no equal playing field. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would they just give, for African Americans? There's a reason why. And then they only gonna give it to a certain amount of people that apply for it. They ask for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're letting me know there's no equality. You know what I'm saying? It should have it for all of them, 80%. You know what I'm saying? Something for everybody.
Yeah.
It ain't like that.
Yeah.
No matter what you were saying, I don't like, even when you talk about redlining, usually you don't reference that to like hormones and things like that. But it's in every aspect of red light. I don't know if everybody kind of know what red light is. They don't even gotta ask you about your race. They just looking at your zip code. You look at your zip code, and if it's majority black people or minorities there, then they can deny you based off your zip code. And that's an issue. I'm seeing it even if I'm running your credit right now for T-Mobile, I'm running your credit for AT&T right now. Based off your zip code, it's going to classify you in one of those credit plans. And the funny thing is, let me phrase this down. So I was having a conversation with sidebar. I was having this conversation with my boss's boss, right? And I was he has a performance spreadsheet based on how many sales that you made to the hour, right? And I didn't understand that a person who might be second in the company at the beginning of the month is on the same grade level as somebody who don't have any sales. And then his mindset went to, and I could tell he was making it up at the moment. He was like, well, there's a medium level and there's a high level, right? That's what he did. That's what he said. But a lot of these companies do the same thing. T-Mobile, AT&T, wireless companies specifically. So you in this area code where there's a majority of Black people, yeah, you will get, it just seemed like, oh, I get the rate that everybody else gets. So the way cell phones work is you get an equipment credit and you cannot go over that certain amount of equipment credit. That could be 2 iPhones, whatever it is, right? So you might have an 800 credit score, but when you go in, it shows you as this. 3,600 might be the max, right? Whatever. A person who lives in a higher household income, you might be at 5,000. But the way it looks, it's like, oh, because I qualify. And now a lot of the associates are programmed like, you got to approve for 5, 10 lines, whatever. But nobody ever discussed the amount. And it's the same thing when you go to get a vehicle. It's the same. They never tell you the amount. That sales agent don't tell you the amount that you got to approve for. But everything is based off your zip code. So when we talk about equality, that's one of our huge problems. Like, and on top of that, when you say that, so if it happens, you can have a white neighbor, but they got a zip code, they just fall in the same, it doesn't matter, right? So that's why the race part don't even matter anymore. It's about the zip code. And when we talk about equality, those are some of the things that we have to fix. Because if I come in, like you shouldn't judge me based on my zip code. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, judge me off my payment history, judge me off my credit score, judge me off the work that I put in opposed to. And that's just the smaller side of it.
Final question. I'm going to go around the room. Final question for each person, about 30 seconds. All right? Starting with you. And I'm going to go around the room. If you could tell President Biden or the President of the United States, whoever's sitting there, the President of the United States, no matter the person, if you could tell that person there's one thing that needs to be fixed at the federal level in order for us to thrive as a nation, what would that thing be?
Reparations has to happen. It has to, because you got to, the nation has to apologize for what they did and acknowledge it on a national, international, global level. That's the only way we're going to make change, period. You got to start there.
Got to start with an apology.
That's right. I was going to say something like this country put off so hate. You know what I'm saying? So, for that, so we need a federal policy, first of all, because we still in, this is modern day slavery that we in now. We may not be in chains and get whipped and stuff physically, but we still going through some stuff that happened way back. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it needs to go back to, they need a lot of making up to do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
The question is, if you could talk to the President of the United States and tell him or her, whoever the president is there, one thing that they can work on to fix this nation, what would that be? Most important thing for you right now.
I mean, for me, I would have to say everything first starts with self, you know. Like, we do have like a history that's traumatic, and some trauma isn't like, when you experience it, you don't experience it like the full effect right then. There's a residual effect. So if we're speaking about like our specific community, I feel like we gotta not heal ourselves because we know what's happened, but we gotta heal one another.
Well, what help do you need? Because once again, the federal government is there. They take all the money.
I'll be real with you.
What do you need?
When it comes to politics and like specific numbers and stuff like that, like that's not something I'm super versed in. So that's why I'm a student right now. So I couldn't give you like a specific this or that. You know what I mean? So I couldn't give you like a clear answer on that, because that's not really like right now where my main, a lot of stuff I'm learning tonight because I'm not really, versed into it.
Okay, well, I ain't gonna press you. We'll come back to it at a later time, but I'm just anything, whether you want the education system fixed, healthcare system fixed, most important thing. I got you though. What's up?
If you ask me, man, he just said exactly what I would say. Yeah. To me, everything starts with education. You can't fight something if you don't know what it is, right? You can't continue to say there's a problem if you don't know how to fix it, right? You can always say there's an issue, but just because you keep talking about it, what are you doing to fix it? So everything starts with education. Education. If I could ask them to fix anything, I would fix the education system. Make it to where kids are coming out not worried about a stupid history class. Because look at Florida. Look at the dude that's running right now, DeSantis. He wants to throw what he calls in Texas now. They don't even call it slavery. It's involuntary relocation. Okay, so let's just get it what it is, right? Who cares about it? It's not gonna be truthful anyway. It's gonna be what somebody wants you to learn, and they're gonna tell you to and make you regurgitate and put it on a piece of paper. How are we making kids? How are we making people? How are people coming out better, right? If my son can graduate or my daughter can graduate high school and roll into the workforce or roll into it with a piece of paper already saying that they are educated to do this job, they just need you to help them get better. They already know what they want to do. My kid doesn't want to go to school. They're not a college person, but they are very good at electrician. Why force them to take these courses for college prep? Let him come out and be an electrician. Now, guess what? Now he's on your job. He's working this, but now he's a journeyman. Now he got the certification. Now he can go be sewing for herself, or she can go be sewing for herself. Healthcare professional. You wanted to be a nurse. You knew when you wanted to be a nurse. At the high school level, your junior and senior year, if you know you want to be a nurse, why can't you start working towards that nursing degree then? Why do I have to force you to take college classes, or not college classes, but take classes in school they're not even going to go nothing to what you need to do what you need to do? At this level, you know where your journey is. Start your journey then, and then you get these kids a better faith. And now you're not looking at this stuff. Now they're coming out with a foot to stand on. Just look at the difference in education of a high school graduate versus somebody with any type of degree. All right.
Appreciate that, Bout. I know that wasn't 30 seconds, but we're gonna allow it all, man. I like it.
I was quiet all day.
Hey, that was a lot of pressure. That's a good one, because you said one.
Give me one thing, man. If you had to tell that president, hey, we need this. What is that thing? What are we talking about?
Like, accountability is a big one, but one thing that resonated with me, man, is we talk about healthcare, right? And I heard me talk about these urgent cares popping up everywhere, right? I think that at a minimum, and it should be free mental health. Like, okay, healthcare, different, illness, ailments, and injuries and all that, but mental health is a big thing, right? And we talk about recovery from slavery, Jim Crow, COVID, all kinds of stuff, right? There's so much stuff going on in America, but we don't focus on mental health, right? So mental health is very important, right? As far as rehabilitating someone, right? People coming out of the prison system, people just going through all these traumatic experience, school shootings, all of that, right? So at a minimum, when somebody need to talk to somebody, you know what I'm saying, they should be able to pick up the phone or should be able to go into a facility and sit down and talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it should be a rehabilitative mental health, right? And that way they redevelop themselves and understand, just get better with themselves, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest thing with a lot of issues around is mental health.
Yeah.
The culture, there's cultures that need to be changed.
Yeah.
There's history of cultures that need to be changed, from African-American, Mexican, whatever it is. The culture of it is embedded. It's like a fabric. It's like a DNA. You know what I'm saying? It's like a cancer that we can't get rid of. And that's why we are not able to unify, because people don't understand how important mental health is. And redirecting the chain, the mind frame, how their emotions, how they respond to their emotions, how they react to people. That mental health part is a big thing. That should be free.
Yes, sir.
That should be free.
Okay.
Yeah. I only ran, man. I would say education. Education is there. What even one of y'all said education needs to carry back on. Okay.
Wow.
children.